Good morning, everyone. Today is August 29th, 2023. Hope you guys are doing well. I just rolled out of the rack. How about you? Uh, a friend that was on the cruise, one of the sew and sales, I think it was 11. She's from Australia, Diane, and she emailed me last night and she said, "Which block are you going to sew tomorrow? I want to sew it with you," because she was going to cut it out last night. So all right, I've got Teresa here from New Jersey, California, Florida. I hope you guys are batting down the hatches there in Florida. You know, the media makes such a huge, ginormous deal out of these hurricanes. And we have a home on the Texas Gulf Coast, and y'all know we get our share of hurricanes down there. But, if it's a 2 or less, I'm like, those people are ready for that. The buildings are built different than they are inland, and they know how to prepare. They train in school. So the media, it's news. It's big news, right? But once we hit category 3 and 4, 3, it's we're going to have some serious water damage. Cat 4, hold on to your knickers because it's going to be crazy. Wet and windy from Scotland. Well, hi, Jamie. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. I doubled up on my coffee again, so I'm ready. Today we are stitching seasonal stitchy stars from the Fat Quarter Shop. For those of you that were here on previous episodes, I've got to go through it again because we might have newbies. This is a wonderful table runner pattern, and it's made by Lori Holt. And so it's not a quilt, it's a table runner. And you can get the pattern, you can get the physical pattern, or you can do a download if you are outside of the US and don't want to pay horrific shipping and VAT charges. You can do a download for it, and it finishes at 16.5 by 79.5. So it's pretty long, and it'd make a good bed runner. But if you don't have something that long to put it on, you could just make half or 5 blocks or something like that. So it's very versatile, and it's the exact same pattern for every single season. So this one is winter, and they've done it in red and green. And then we have spring in spring colors. Summer is red, white, and blue for us here in the US, and then fall. And I am using the fall kit. Yesterday we made, let me see if I can find it. I think my head's in the way. There it is. This is the 8-point star block. So we made this one yesterday. And y'all, I didn't realize it. I thought this was the first pattern in the book, and it is not. It is the second. So today we're making the wool star block. That is the third pattern. And as I was cutting last night, that's when I realized I had skipped number 1. So we'll do number 1 tomorrow. Okay. Oh, I'm very pleased with how that turned out. And just quickly, for people who were not here yesterday, I'll go through what I'm using. I have got all of my pieces cut and ready to go on a project board. You can get everything that I'm going to mention to you, all these products and everything. They are in the description box below the video, and I would appreciate it if you would use my links. That very much helps support my channel. So for those of you who were here yesterday, you saw my alphabeti slide off. The Fat Quarter Shop, usually Lori Holt, Elizabeth Hartman is another one. They will identify their pattern pieces with little alphabet letters. And so the Fat Quarter Shop came up with these little plastic squares called alphabetes. Well, love them to death, highly functional, but they slide around. So yesterday I took a hot glue gun. I just put a little piece, this is the back side. I took a little piece of Pellon's 987F, it's fusible on one side. I didn't iron it, but I hot glued a little piece of fusible fleece to the back of my alphabetes, and now they stay. So You're in Tampa today, Paula says, trying to keep busy. Yeah, and avoid the chaos. They do create chaos, don't they? Everybody runs around and buys bottled water that they already have and toilet paper and who knows what else. Yeah, you love watching me sew on that Brother PQ 1500. Right. So this is the Brother PQ 1500 SL. It is a piecing machine. You guys, I bought this one and I bought another one. They have them on Amazon. They're less than $700. And they are identical to machines that are twice the price of other manufacturers on the market. So absolutely identical. And I love it. I will tell you though, on this machine, if you've got one, it doesn't like certain kinds of thread. It doesn't like weak thread. So if I use 100% cotton thread in this machine, every single time I hit the cut button to trim it, it'll unthread the needle. Drove me crazy till I figured out it doesn't like weak thread. So now I use poly cones that are not shiny. So this is from Connecting Threads. This thread is, and I buy it by the cone. I've been using it for ever. Love it. Very strong. Does not unthread my needle. Okay, what else did I want to tell you guys about? I'm ironing with a Cricut mini press, and these little wooden sewing tools are available in links below my video. They are from a gentleman up in Fort Worth, all handcrafted, and they are the best on the market as far as I'm concerned. Love them, love them. And I'm ironing on a Steady Betty, just on a little rolling cart. I think that's it. I have one of my husband's seam rippers. Hopefully I don't need it today. Needed it yesterday twice. And I'm using a friction fine liner, fine point marker to mark my fabrics. And what else? I'm using a Creative Grids. This is a 1/4 inch marking tool. And yep. Oh, good morning. This is a Creative Grids 1/4 inch marking tool. And I'll be using this instead of where they say on block A to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner. I use the marking tool and put it on, and then I draw on either side of the marking tool. I find that to be a much more accurate technique, so that instead of guessing where the 1/4 inch is away from the line that you drew, you're going to sew on the line that you drew. So I find that to be more accurate. All right. Yesterday, somebody asked me about my little pattern holder. I didn't link it below. I will before the day is done. It's just a bamboo. I got the idea from Pat Sloan. You know, she's one of the masters in the industry. So if it works for her, it works for me. All right. I think we are ready to get started. I'm turned on here. I got this. I got this. Oh, and this is a slimline light. Love, love. Need to link to that too. Didn't put that below. Okay. So I've got my handy dandy little mini rotary mat here, and we are ready to go. Today, the wool star block looks, let me get a sheet of paper, cover this up. Oh, yesterday I cut, show you guys, I cut something else yesterday too. This is the wool star block, making the green and yellow one there at the end. Good morning from Ontario. Hey, my Canadians are in the house. Scotland, Canada. Awesome. All over the US. Isn't the internet a wonderful thing? So yesterday, I also, just as off topic, I got all the cuttings done for American Pie, that quilt along that I'm doing with my local quilt shop. That's what that looks like. And yes, we talked a lot about embroidered lettering markers, fabric markers yesterday. Here we are. Got those. They're bigger than the Alpha Bitties that from the Fat Quarter Shop. They are a little bit bigger, but not too much. Okay. So if you're following along, we're going to take square A. We've got 4 of them, 2 of them. I've got 2 square A's, and we're going to mark a diagonal line. Doesn't matter which direction. Corner to corner is what it tells you to do. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys here so you can kind of see what's going on and put you down just a little so you can watch. And we'll visit. Kind of like morning musings, but I'm working. I love it. I rolled out of bed, and I know I shouldn't have moved my ruler, but I bumped it. And came in here to the office. How nice is that? All right. And then same for the second one. Going to mark it. I just don't care to guess where that 1/4 inch is. Of course, you can always mark that too. Whoop, wrong way. Knock my ruler out of the way if I do that. The only creative grids one I have is, I think I have a shorter one somewhere, but it's I think it's probably in a Yazzie bag. And then also, while I have my marking tool in my hand, I need to draw lines on the back of the fabric B and K squares. So I'm going to do that right now. So here we have 4 B squares. Now, this is a diagonal line that you are going to sew on. So I'm not using that tool. I need another ruler. Now, I did a video on this, and I want to explain this to you guys who did not see it. Okay, let's get real close. This is really important. I'm stomping my foot as if I were a teacher in a classroom. Pay attention. This is on the test, okay? When you put your ruler corner to corner to draw a line, okay? And I'm sorry, I'm right-handed. If your ruler is corner to corner, the line that you draw is not corner to corner. The line that you draw is actually off to one side. So I'm going to put a mark on the side that is sticking out from underneath the ruler. You can't tell, but the side with the mark is the short side. That little bit of line depth matters. And it matters because if you try to fold the short side over to the corner, because of what's known in the garment world as turn of cloth, it will be short and it will tug and distort your block. If you try to sew the larger side over, it's going to meet and it's going to fit perfect. Okay, so that's really important. So whenever I do pre-marking, where I'm going to set them aside, I'm not sewing it right now, I will put a little mark on the short side, the side that's sticking out from underneath the ruler. And when we get to where we're making those blocks, you'll get that. Whoops. Just dropped my Guggenheim snips. Love them. All right. These are the B squares. If the ruler's corner to corner, then the line is not. Okay. And then I need to do that also on my K squares. We have 4 of those. What are you guys up to? Watching from Northern Virginia? Yeah, get the kiddos ready for school. Send them out into the world. I was pretty lucky. I went to elementary school on a military base. And so you could walk safely to school. It was great. I live in the country, so we still have buses that come around here. And the family that moved in next door last May, they have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. So the bus stops every day out here. They climb on and off they go. And then mom and dad, one or the other, is outside at 4:20 when they come home. Very nice people. We were lucky to get good neighbors. It's always a blessing. Okay, so all the marking is done that we need to do now. All right, so my K squares are marked, my B squares are marked, and I can put my marking pen away. Efficiency, you guys. Okay, let me get out of here. I'll go back wide so we can sew together and I don't chop off my head. Okay, who else here? You drove a school bus for 33 years? Oh, man. I was horrible to my bus driver, you guys. When we lived off base, it was terrible. You have the soul of a saint. No wonder your blocks don't line up right, Shirley says. Yeah, that's a technique. It took me 10 years of quilting to figure out, oh, well, duh, they don't reach because one side is shorter than the other. And I know that from sewing collars on garments and turning over the turn of cloth, right? Okay. I'll put this back. Let's see. So step 1, we need to assemble our corner wool star unit. So we need to make 4 of these. I need 4 G rectangles, these little guys. Oh no, first I need an H and an F. So H is a 1-inch dinky little square, as is the F, 1-inch dinky little square. These are tiny, y'all. Ooh, I hate them. Why does she? So H is a rectangle. There's a 1/4-inch difference. All right. Yeah. Good night. These are tiny. Okay. The very first thing to get accurate blocks and piecing is your cutting. And if you can afford it, because they are an investment, I recommend Quilter Select rulers. They're the best. And they changed the accuracy of my blocks completely. Changed the accuracy. They've got like a thin coating of rubber on the back so they stay put. The lines, the coloring, everything on them is just perfect. So if you can swing it. Is Candace Park here this morning? She and I had a private lesson yesterday, and I couldn't get something to work, and it woke me up about 3 this morning, and I figured it out. So if she's here, I'm gonna send her an email. Yeah, Shirley, turn of cloth is used in couture garment construction, couture sewing. That's the term. You can look it up on Google. It's there. This says to press to the dark on the HF unit. What happened to my little snips? Where'd they go? I heard them. No. It goes off after 13 minutes, this thing. Oh, here they are back here. They don't use it in the big 4 commercial patterns, the Buttericks and Simplicities and all that. They don't talk about that. They just tell you. But I used to take garment sewing classes on Craftsy. And the ladies there, or whoever was teaching it, they I'm not going to press these open. They're too tiny. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make a whole hill of beans. So, but that's important. It's the concept of turn of cloth that allows collar points to lay flat when you when you get that collar made. If you don't take into that consideration of the turn of cloth, if your under collar and upper collar are the exact same size, you'll get a collar flip up, especially in men's shirts. You almost need like an extra 1/8 of an inch on the upper collar, so it's got room to roll. I've made men's shirts. That's not fun. I don't get any good joy out of that. What are you guys doing? Yeah, you love your rulers and your cutting mats. Yeah, creative grids are good, but the Quilter Select, yes. Katie's slowly replacing them. They are an investment, y'all. Okay, so we need to pay attention that the HF unit has the color on top, and we're going to put rectangle G to the left of it. They are an investment. Wait a minute. Something's wrong. I cut something wrong. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, that's right. And then G is what? Wait a minute. Well, I cut my G's wrong. That's okay. They're too big. Too big is better than too small, right? I've got the technology to fix this. I think there's a rotary cutter under here. Yep. How long is it? Oh, okay. Do y'all ever do that? No. You guys never cut your fabrics wrong. Let's see here. I was like, that doesn't fit. Right, there's two. And those Quilter Select, man, they are pricey. But I tell you, I got one. Finally, I got one. And it's the one I'm still using. I think it's a 6 or 8.5 by 24. I used it, and it's one of those where you use it and then you go, oh my, I had no idea. Okay. Did I cut yeah, the E's are correct. Just the G's were wrong. That's okay, y'all. Adapt, overcome. I got it right. Your kids ride the bus, but you're rural too. Oh, yeah. Load them up in the car. Off you go down the road, down the driveway. All right, 4 of these. And as I said yesterday, my piecing improved on this machine as well because it just holds tighter. I've got some serious video editing to do today. I finished a Designs by Juju release she's got coming out the 1st of September. And I got to finish up the videos for it. So the design is done. It's adorable. Can't wait to show you guys. I'm so excited. And my girls down in Two Chicks Quilting in Ganado, Texas are kitting the fabric for it. So we're keeping it local here with my Texas girls. All right. I'm really looking forward to that cruise, that Sew and Sail cruise in May. Juju will be on that cruise. It'll be the first time I've met her. I'm excited. We talk on the phone, we text all the time, but it'll be nice. Okay, we got a little behind. I say me, got a little behind because I had the wrong size G blocks. We're good here. Do y'all like playing with these tiny squares? Well, hi, Patsy. Yeah, you made it. Emma, this is the Brother PQ 1500. It is a straight stitch machine. It's on Amazon. I have two of them. I have this one and I bought another one because they dropped the price to less than $700 for the machine. So I bought another one and it's going to the coast this weekend. I have a Brother Quattro embroidery machine at the coast. Okay. And I'll leave it there and continue to use it. But I don't like quilt piecing on a machine that's not a straight stitch. These have a specific purpose. Okay, that's looking good. Is anybody sewing along with me, or are you guys just here for the chit chat? You're going on the Scan and Cut cruise. Carrie is. Yay. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Did you watch that video that Amy put out on how to pack your Scan and Cut? Bring your laptop if you can, too. You're going to need it. Hate tiny squares. I know. She says with my fat fingers. I know what you mean. All right. And I need E rectangles. And they go on the other side. There was a whole craze a couple years back of people making dinky, tiny little pin cushions out of scraps. Every time I saw one, I just shook my head. I'm like, there's no way I'm making that. They were so cute. Oh, so cute. What? Okay. These are our little corner units here. Let's see. You like working with a pile of small pieces. Jenny does. Yeah. People do. They crazy quilt. They do all kinds of stuff with those little bitty pieces. This machine takes a little getting used to because it can take off on you. It's very powerful. I'll let you guys know too. This is just a needle minder that came in one of the. It's a fat quarter bundle needle minder. It came in one of my monthly sew boxes from the fat quarter shop. Handy. I got a big pile of pins right here, but I grab those right there. That way they don't roll around on my sewing table here. I've got them all around this place. What are you guys doing? Yeah. Oh, Joan, really? A lady from her guild gifted her a machine like this. Yeah. Christmas. That's it. Yeah. With the price of fabric, you're determined to use every scrap you can. I know, right? It is expensive. Crazy. $12 and $13 a yard. Really? But I was talking to a lady way back in the day. This is like 09. And she owned a quilt shop in right near Janesville, Wisconsin. I'd gone up to visit my mother's family. And we were talking about quilt shops because I was considering opening one when I retired from the service. And she told me, she said, there's no money in fabric. Where she made her money, and she's closed now, couldn't make it through the pandemic. She said, where you make your money is like, of course, all the notions and whatnot, but classes where they have lots of classes and they get student fees for the classes and the people buying the kits and stuff. It's hard. It's hard to do that. Okay. All right. So this is the EFGH unit. That's what that looks like. And now I'm going to set these aside for right now. Now we're going to take our A and J squares, 2 of them. Okay. And pay attention to your marks. Your marks should go to upper left to lower right on the A and the J, and you're going to make both of them. Had 2 private lessons yesterday with the in Brilliant Stitch Artist 2. It was great. Enjoyed it. One lady in Corpus Christi and another one in Nacogdoches, Texas. And she's going to be on our cruise as well, the Scannica cruise. I feel like we're all old friends. See, this is easier to sew on the line as opposed to next to the line and guess and watch your fabric wobble all over the place. Oh boy. Yesterday, somebody asked me, do I like the Guggenheim scissors or the Gingers better? These are pretty good. These Guggenheim scissors are incredible. See how they're not pushing the fabric at all. They just pretty good. Okay. These do not need to nest on the diagonal. Nope. They are not nesting with other diagonals. Okay, good. What do you guys got going on here? Thumbs up, everyone. Yes, please. Thank you, Bernadette. I appreciate that. Yeah. That helps the Google analytics. It says, oh, everybody who sews likes this video. So let me share this with others. That's very cool. Algorithm. That's the big word of the morning. All right. So I'm pressing these to the dark. And if you're new to quilting, what that means is you have a dark side and a light side on your little block. And you want to pull up the dark side and fold it like that. So in theory, the seam allowance behind it can't be seen as much through the darker fabric. That's the method behind that madness. I lost a pound yesterday. Yay. So when I was at All Brands at Lone Star University this weekend, I was sitting next to a lady at lunch when we had our barbecue lunch catered in. And she had been on Weight Watchers and she said she lost 90 pounds. She's very trim and she lost 90 pounds. Okay. These need to finish at a certain size. So y'all need to check that and make sure they're right. Yeah, mine's good. And so she said, well, last night for dinner, we had Salisbury steak. And I was like, oh, that sounds good. And so I started thinking about Salisbury steak. That's all I had in my head. I was like, I want Salisbury steak. So I bought very, very thin pieces of beef, like out of a round steak. Let's see. Okay, so now we're going to play with that thing that I was talking about with the turner cloth. We need piece I. And in the fall colors, piece I is my yellow. Okay. All right. This is what we're going to call the base shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to add on a different piece up here and a different piece down here. And when we get finished, the size of the base shape will not change. The size that it is right now is the size it will be when we're done. It's just going to have different color fabrics on it. The reason, and that's important, kind of keep that concept in mind. So we're going to take square B, and I marked with a mark the piece that's going to be cut off. It's got that little mark on there. Okay, so that's the short side. Because remember I said, if the ruler's corner to corner, then the line is not. It looks like it is, but it's not. You've got a short side and a long side. So we're going to put the short side, the side that's going to be cut off, and we're going to put it over here so that the side with the mark is to my right. And I'm going to line it up exactly on top of that base shape. And I'm going to sew on the line. Now the instructions tell you when you get done sewing to cut right now and then fold this over. That's kind of in the blind, okay? So what I recommend you do is fold first. So we're going to take the piece we're going to fold, we're going to line it up exactly to the point, to the corner, and then crease it. Hold it in place and then crease it. So it still looks like the base shape from the back, but you have enough room in the turn of cloth for the other triangle to fold over and meet that point. Okay. And then you press it. I creased it. Cold. Press. Use clapper. Now I'm going to cut it. I have not changed the base shape. So we're going to do the exact same thing with the K, block K. Okay. Your short side is going to go to your lower, the short side has the mark on it. The short side is going to go to my left over here in the lower left corner. And so on the line. Before you cut, fold it over, make it match exactly, crease it. Our base shape is still the same. Press. My little iron went cold on me. Okay, so we're done with this one. All right. So this is what it's supposed to look like right here. And if you look at the other of these blocks, I'll put it up on there. They're identical. You can't see the block. See? They're identical. That's the goal, is to create another one. Don't change the base shape. Does that help? Good morning. You've learned a lot in a short time. It's amazing what comes out of this head. Most of it's nonsense, every once in a while. Okay. So I'm going to sew these other 3 the same way that I just did. So back to the Salisbury steak. So I did it in the Instant Pot. I sauteed the onions and the mushrooms in the Instant Pot, and I did it with just using spray olive oil. So I didn't dump a bunch of oil in there. So I did that, and then I put the mushrooms in there again, just spray olive oil, and sauteed those up. And then the meat, I do spray the meat with the olive oil to give it a little fat because it was very lean. And I used a seasoning. It's by Fiesta. They're local here to San Antonio, Bolner's Fiesta, and it's called Hamburger Deluxe. And it's got salt in it. I like my salt, but it seasoned the meat really well. So both sides got sprayed with olive oil and then browned. Everything was browned on the skillet, on the stove. So got that done. Once those were browned, then in with the onions and the mushrooms, I threw like 2 cups of beef broth, threw in a tablespoon of Better Than Bouillon beef, and a can, kind of went rogue on this one, but I threw in a can of petite diced tomatoes that had onions and celery diced in it. Hunt's makes those, I think, but so does my local grocery store. They've got their brand. Oh, Keith's getting the dogs up. We're going to have Harley barking at the door here shortly. So, and season that up with some onion powder and like 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Got that going, bubbling. Put the meat in there and let it cook for 25 minutes on high pressure. And then I let it reduce natural pressure about 30 minutes. Y'all, that meat was so tender. It was crazy. It was delicious. And then I took little white potatoes, quartered them, and threw them on a cookie sheet and a 425 oven, sprayed them with olive oil, and drizzled or sprinkled them with Cajun seasoning. The only points in that meal was the meat. And it had broken up into little chunks. It was so tender. So good. So I had that for lunch. That put Keith down too. He had to go for a nap after that. I love my Instant Pot. When I was working outside the home, if it wasn't for that and the crock pot, we wouldn't eat. All right, last one here. My mother was a great cook. She was from Midwest, again, Janesville, Wisconsin. Meat, potatoes, the land of meat and potatoes. She could knock out a meal. Very good. Good savory cook, you know. I'm horrible at baking. Yes, those are my Guggenheim scissors, April. Yes, I'm making you hungry. Sounds like gourmet. And y'all, it's so easy. As long as you got a lot of spices in the house. Literally canned stuff. How often do I need to oil my machine? You know, Guadalupe, I oil my machine when it sounds like it needs it. Oh, I want to tell y'all something. I was sitting, we were at the All Brands Lone Star University. It's an embroidery university this weekend. And I was having supper. We went to a little restaurant called Nietzsche's over on West Avenue here in San Antonio. Oh, you locals, you'll know. It's pretty good. We were having dinner. We were talking about, you know, the business. And the owner of All Brands told me. He said, you know what the biggest myth in the embroidery industry is? That you have to bring your machine in every year for maintenance. He goes, you don't need to bring your machine in unless it's broken. These machines. And I said, well, you know, there's big money in machine maintenance. And he goes, yeah, and that's why they tell you that. Don't tell anybody I told y'all. But I don't take my machines in unless they need maintenance. So when it sounds like it needs oil, it was like my daddy used to tell me when I started to learn how to drive. He'd tell me, listen to the car. It'll tell you when it needs help. He was an aircraft mechanic. My dad worked on T-38s and T-37s. He was an aircraft maintenance guy. And he would say, just listen to the machine. It'll tell you. Y'all, these are perfect. These turned out great. So I got 4 of these now. All right. What is next? Assemble the block. Okay. There goes my husband talking to the dogs. We're going to take rectangle D and our EFGH unit, and with the orange on the left side, you want to put that what is it? What is it? D. You want to stitch D to the bottom. So I'm going to put the orange to the bottom as I'm looking at it, and the D piece right on top there. What are you guys doing? Yeah, great margaritas at Nietzsche's. Yeah, I had the prickly pear one. It was the first time. Steven, the maintenance guy at All Brands, he had one, and I was like, what is that? I want one of those. Very good. The tortillas were excellent too. Oh, that one's not right. I'm over here talking about margaritas. I got excited. Now I got to pull out my seam ripper. I sewed it off. See that? I didn't sew it right. Dang. Yeah. You can't sew and talk because... Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all got technology going all over the house here. Okay. Now, if I line it up properly, that's the key, right? Line it up properly. I think I can sew and talk because I'm an only child, or I was raised as an only child. I have a half brother. I didn't find out about him till late in life. But I was raised as an only child. I've talked to myself my whole life. I talk to myself today. I mean, all day long in the sewing room. I'm forever chit-chatting with myself. Okay. Keith's like, who are you talking to? I was like, it's okay. It's me. All right. Fold these back. Yes. All right. Your TV is in your sewing room. I have one in here. April says it's based on stitch count and hour usage. I don't look at that. The arm, I had to replace the belt in the arm of the luminaire not too long ago. It gave up the ghost, so I had to get that done. I'm fortunate. Since I have this 10 needle, I've got my repair guy on speed dial, and he will come to the house. And when he's here, I'll tell him, he's like, what else needs looked at? He's wonderful. His name is Jason. He doesn't do home repair on the domestics, but he does on the multi-needles. And if you just happen to have something else. Okay. So these get sewn with the white square to our half square triangle blocks, and make sure that the green, so the white part is down, make sure the green is to your right, pointing to your right hand. Sew that. Okay, this is down. Let me turn these so I know I'm doing it the right way. That's right. The only person that keeps secrets is yourself. Yeah. You know, but I respect that when a dealer will tell you. They have plenty of work, believe me. Those machines go. They need some love. I'll be at the All Brands booth in Houston this year too, to show. Okay. Let's see. At least I can have a conversation I understand. I don't know. Sometimes I've stopped and gone, what was I saying? I could always say I was talking to Frito, my dog, right? She understands it all. She just lays around and watches. I can hear her chewing on a bone. She's getting her morning chewy. All right. This unit should look like this. Okay. Trim this dog ear. Get rid of the bulk. And I am going to press this one. No, I'm not going to press it open. It's got that diagonal. I'm just going to leave it. That's nice. Yeah. Well, I didn't see Diane on here. Maybe she couldn't stay up late enough to sew with me today. From Australia. These are looking good. What are you guys up to? You enjoy it. Wish you had a... Oh, yeah. Going to the long arm. Well, I've got a quilt on the long arm I've got to get off there. It's that songbook, The Next Page, with a praises quilt from Corey Yoder. That is still on the long arm. I don't know what I did, but I miscalculated the length of the quilt in the program on the robotics. So there's this much that needs to be, well, that much that needs to be sewed, and the pattern's only that long. And I'm like, ugh. So I have been, this is since before I went to Colorado. So I have been dragging my feet on getting that done. But I need to. Need to get it done and get it off the wall. I don't have anything else yet. Oh yeah, my orange star quilt. That needs to go on there. I'm donating that. Someone reached out to me from the multiple sclerosis organization in Virginia and asked me to donate a quilt. So I might send that one. All right. What's wrong? I sewed them wrong. What'd I do? I sewed this one wrong. Y'all? I wasn't paying attention. See how the orange is over here to my right? This one has the orange over here to my left. Happens. You guys are over there talking amongst yourselves. Y'all live close to each other, a lot of you. Somebody says, I'm over here too in your town. I love that. Okay. This goes here, like that. Yeah. Good thing I caught it before I sewed the whole block together. See, got to see, glass is half full. Silver lining. Optimism. There we go. Okay, that looks good. I'm back to going here. All right. And then we need to sew these units together like this so that the green in each one matches up. Okay. So put your greens together. You should have green points together at the bottom of the unit. Yeah, good thing my husband makes those awesome seam rippers, right? Oh, man. It says, will I be posting a video from my live with the Sisters Quilt Shop? What? My sister's quilt shop. I don't know what quilt shop that is. Y'all, it's so funny. People will leave comments on my videos or they'll email me about something and I don't know what they're talking about. I'm like, did I do that right? See, I was fixing to sew that wrong. And they'll say something to me and I'm like, I don't know what you mean. You finished binding 5 blue jean blankets. Good for you. Yeah, you got to get that done. Lots of work to do. Never ending work to do as quilters, stitchers. When we go to Louisiana next month for Bayou University in Baton Rouge, again, by all brands, we're stopping in Lafayette and friends of ours are there. And last time we came through, they had a crawfish boil for us. And I I bought some towels at the booth. All About Blanks was there. We were at Everything Embroidery Market, and All About Blanks was there. And so I bought some towels, and I wanted to do monograms and put some crawfish, and yeah, that'll work. That's a good block, yeah. So anyway, I need to get those towels done. We were there in March, so you know it's time. Time to get the towels done. Oh, so I need to get those rocking and rolling on Spanky. My hardest thing is figuring out what design I'm going to do. Yeah. My girlfriend's quilt shop with Kimberbell. So I went there, but I don't. We did a live. Kim and I did a live. I'm sorry, Chris and I did a live on the Summer is Sweet wall hanging, and that's on their YouTube channel. Or it's on, no, you had to sign up for it to watch it on their channel or something like that. I can link to it below the video when I get done, but that's already finished. That was that Summer is Sweet watermelon skyscraper. She did it the old-fashioned way, and I digitized the pieces. That was, do I have it here? Yeah. That was this one. This turned out adorable. That turned out cute. That Summer Is, that's all embroidered on. The only thing I sewed was the watermelons pieces. I zigzagged, rayon appliqued that. Pretty neat. I didn't do the 3D flower petals like she did because 3D stuff doesn't store well. It gets smashed. And then I have to fiddle with it the next time I drag it out, and I don't like doing that, so. I learned that the hard way with Kimberbell quilts. Okay, this looks good. All right, so 2 of these need a rectangle C between them. Yeah, that's right. That sure is right. Okay. They're supposed to have a replay, but you can't see it. Yeah, so if you log into your account with them, you should, it's on their education and webcasts or something like that. It was free to watch. Yeah. Make sure I'm sewing this correctly here. Yeah. Okay, so you take 2 of those units and put a rectangle C between them. Okay, that's pretty. Make sure you get your 1/4-inch seams down here on the bottom. You're going to need that. And press the seam to the rectangle C. There. That looks really good. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom half of this thing. Put your little orange parts down in the outer corners. And check the picture every time, before and after. Make sure you're right. looks good. What? Oh, I don't want to stand up. It's not. Just leave me alone. I'm working. My watch. Time to get up, lady. Get off your tuchus. I'm going to sit for another 30 minutes here in a little bit. When we get done, I'm going to start on that American Pie quilt. Looking good. You know what? There's one stitch that I could have done. Yeah. I'm going to do this a little bit. Una más. I'm going to fix it. Yeah, that green was one stitch away from that white rectangle in the middle. Now it's not. Fix it, fix it, fix it. Make it right. Okay. Now we've got 2 more rectangle C's left, and those need to go on either side of square L. And they fold, they press outward, not inward, outward. Yeah. So they'll nest with those other ones. Yeah. What are you guys up? Time to walk, Shirley. All right. Well, you go enjoy your walk and be careful. You might get your straight stitch machine today. Yeah. Good. It's going to change your world. Change your world. Okay. So these are pressed outward toward the light fabric because we pressed inward on the other ones. Okay. So now I'm going to nest that center square with the center of the lower part. Literally, it's like a misshapen 9-patch, kind of what we're putting together here. Okay. And sew these together. My seams are a little bulky there. I did underneath. Okay, how'd we do? Yeah, those look good. That looks real good. Okay. Got some bulk in those seams. So I've got video editing to do today. When I use my thread cutter, does my stitch bunch up when it is starting to sew again? A little bit. It's not that big of a deal. Let me see if I have one. A starting stitch where it's not, I can't see it. Negligible. These machines are pretty good. Okay, Now I am going to sew on the other side of this because I don't want to sew blind. So I can see where the seams are. So I'm going to put the center to the bottom. And when I pin, I go in one side of the seam allowance and out the other. I'm aiming for those X's. Last seam, you guys. I love the knee lift on this thing. It made me a believer in knee lifts. Oh, nailed it. Look at that. Every one of them is spot on. Happy, happy. Look at that. Today is your testing day. All right, Diane. Ruth, your husband said I cost him a lot of money. And you still have not used your Scanica. You need to use that. You need to use that. You know, get a little baby bib and just put an initial on it, okay? Just practice. You can get a package of crappy baby bibs at Walmart for a couple of dollars. Then you can practice on those. It'll make you feel better. Ow, that thing is hot. Whoa. All right. Done. This looks great. Look at that, you guys. This is the wool star block. This has been awesome. This has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this. All right, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed our stitching and chat this morning. And I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do the first block in the pattern. That is the evening star block. So we'll do this one tomorrow. So if you want to stitch along with me, you can download the pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop. The link is below the video. And then we can sew it together. And we'll knock this thing right out. Okay, so all right, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. Enjoy your day or the rest of your evening as the case may be. And we will talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.